This video is brought to you by Rock and Rogue, a Boo Bunny plague adventure. The bunny is back.
Could Overwatch have a Greek hero on the way? We've been piecing together parts of a puzzle that seems to suggest something is coming, and it could be based on the Greek mythological figure Helios. Believe it or not, Greek mythology already plays a major part in the world of Overwatch. Mercy's staff is named after one carried by the Greek god Hermes.
Hey, guys, what did I say? When we meet new people, protract your S's. It's more dramatic. Makes an impression.
The Shambali monks like Zenyatta worship the Iris. In Greek mythology, Iris was the personification of the rainbow and was the messenger of the gods. She was the link between the gods and humanity. That's not the only Greek god referenced in the game either. Athena, the AI that assists Winston and seems to control Overwatch's systems, is also named after a Greek goddess. Now, for something you probably didn't know about the statues in the Greek Ilios ruins, these two figures are direct copies of Nulliken's three marble goddesses. The goddesses featured in-game are Minerva and Juno. Venus was the third in the collection, but she seems to be missing, most likely because her statue was, very underdressed. These sculptures are based on Roman gods, however Roman gods are nearly all borrowed from Greek mythology, for example Cupid and Eros. The goddess Minerva is the direct equivalent to the Greek Athena, so in the context of these being found in Greece, this is a statue of Athena, possibly chosen as a reference to the Overwatch AI that we believe to be a god program. Juno is the equivalent of Hera, the Queen of Heaven. Iris was amongst Hera's servants and is often thought to be her personal messenger and handmaiden. Now, the sculptures these statues are based on are far from ancient, in reality having only been carved in the 1700s. However, it's interesting that they chose these statues to be those uncovered in the map. Perhaps it's a nod to Athena and Iris in the game. Maybe the map designer just liked these sculptures. They are on display in LA after all, only about an hour's drive from Blizzard's offices. Whatever the case, it's interesting, but there is more to look into. There is one more statue on the map. The giant figure you can see out to sea is a reference to the Colossus of Rhodes, which portrayed Helios and was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Although the appearance of the figure in-game looks more akin to Ares, the god of war. Described as a handsome titan, they believed he drove the chariot of the sun across the sky each day. Now here is where things start to get really interesting. Ilios itself means sun, and on Lijiang Tower there is an electronic news banner that when translated to English reads, "Ancient Greek statues emerge in Ilios to reproduce the sun." We learn a fair amount of information from this line. First, the statues are of importance, enough to be talked about in international news. Also, they are definitely Greek, meaning we are looking at Athena and Hera. But the most interesting part is that they apparently reproduce the sun. With a reference to Helios, the sun god standing out to sea, and the map itself literally being called Sun, it seemed like an interesting connection. Keep that in mind when you listen to this line from Athena herself.
Over the past week, Talon activity has been detected in the area. It is my belief that they are attempting to steal the newly unearthed artifacts from the temple ruins atop Helios.
So Talon, the terrorist organization that's been trying to steal items of power such as a Doomfist, has been detected in Ilios. If they are trying to steal the artifacts from the temple ruins, it surely means there is more to them than their archaeological significance. If they are able to reproduce the sun, as is being reported, this could make them a potentially huge energy source and maybe even a weapon. And now we get to the potential for a new hero. What if someone is able to harness the power of these statues and becomes the embodiment of Helios? Clearly, the connections to Greek mythology is something the developers are really into with references throughout the lore, but it's not something we have seen much of within the actual hero pool. Also, the majority of the maps have connections to someone from the hero pool. Some are obvious like Tracer and King's Row, while others are more subtle like Lijiang Tower and Winston. It's not always a hard connection, but there always tends to be something somewhere connecting a map to at least one hero. Ilios is the exception to this rule, along with the newest map to be released, Oasis. Although there are some who think Mercy might have a link to this part of the world. So for Ilios to get a connection to a hero would mean creating a new hero or taking the story there in a cinematic short or comic. If they were to create a Greek hero based on Helios, what could be his story? What about if it's an archaeologist working on the site? Someone with a knowledge of the history who finds a way to harness the power of the statues? Or maybe it goes the other way. What about if Talon gets their hands on the artifacts and weaponize it? What if the hero is another Talon agent like Reaper, Widowmaker, and Sombra? Whoever happens to be, I imagine the power would be more technological than mythological, but as we have seen throughout the game's lore, Blizzard loves to blend the two together, particularly when it comes to the Greek mythologies. One last note, the well seems to make some pretty strange sounds when you listen closely to it. This is probably just supposed to sound like wind blowing across the top of the pit, but it certainly sounds a bit eerie. So, what do you think? Could Helios be on the way? Perhaps even a pair of heroes, one based in Helios and the other on Hera. What do you think their abilities would be? Let me know in the comments below. I mean, I can't wait to read your ideas. As always, this is Jason for Curse saying thanks for watching, and enjoy the game!
I'm on the phone, lady!
This video is brought to you by Rock and Rogue, a Boo Bunny Plague adventure. The bunny is back.